Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing another movie review. This movie is a horror film from the United States, English language, released in the year 2016, directed by Nicholas Winding Refn, and this film is called The Neon Demon. So The Neon Demon is about the cutthroat modelling industry. You've got this young, beautiful female who's very innocent, and she's just starting off in the modelling world. Everybody is absolutely captivated by her beauty, and this brings a lot of jealousy from those around her. So those who are trying to break it into the modelling world are getting a lot of envy towards this female because she is basically getting all the attention. So the further she goes in to this world, the more she's starting to lose her innocence, and she's becoming just basically a shadow of herself. She's devoid of all her emotions. She's devoid of all her, basically her inner beauty is being corrupted to a point where she is just not the person she used to be. So as she's making it up, she's climbing the ladder of fame. Basically, this is proving very dangerous because those around her are starting to be fed up with this, and they want to do something about it to further their careers. So what happens at that point on, and whether or not this woman is in fact in danger, and whether or not this world is going to eat her alive, is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I go in with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on The Neon Demon. When it comes to Nicholas Winding Refn, I'm definitely in two minds. On one stage, you've got a guy who is very talented, who can make great films. If you see his native Danish films, they're just a clear indication of how he can make great characters, and he can actually make a very dirty and gritty world. But then on the other hand, you've got films like Drive, you've got films like Only God Forgives, where it gets lost in its basically indulgence. Its self-indulgence really clouds the overall movie, and it becomes more of a chore as opposed to something you can enjoy. So I'm not won over by this guy, and after seeing The Neon Demon, I wasn't impressed by this movie because I think it is just an indication of what he has become as a filmmaker. It's all about the overall visuals. This is a clear indication of the subject matter in this film. The modelling industry, it's all about how you look, it's not about what's on the inside, and that's the best way I can sum this film up. It's all about how it looks, the visuals the visual colouring that the movie has, and how captivating and how trance-like the atmosphere is. But then on the inside you've got nothing. So after a while you start to look at this beautiful picture, the beautiful visual, and you think to yourself, okay, I want something a little bit more. What is it like on the inside? But it's completely devoid of any personality, so it becomes a chore because it's 2 hours long. So by the end of the film you're left wondering, okay, I saw a movie that was all about style but had no substance to really carry the film forward. It didn't really have a heart. It felt devoid of all emotion. It just felt like it was all about how it looks. It's all about the outside as opposed to the inside. Now, putting that aside, the criticisms aside, I will say that the movie does have positives. It is a commentary on the world of modelling and how women are objectified. In this film, all these women are objectified to a point where you feel like they're not even humans. They're materials and they're objects used for personal gain. And it shows you how cruel this environment can be, and how this young woman, who's a beautiful young woman, very good person, is starting to lose everything that she was in the past in order to gain the upper leg as far as the modelling world is concerned. So it does show how shallow and how destructive modelling can be. Not only modelling, but also the movie industry. It's when it's all about looks, and when you get looks, when you start to grow older, you start to become less necessary. So it does show you how harsh these people who work in the industry can be, and how some of the dialogue between these people, it actually felt like they didn't even regard them as people. They didn't regard their emotions. They didn't care about if they said you're fat or, you know, go away, your modelling career is finished. It was just very, very matter of fact, and it's very cutthroat, and I just think it's a very shallow environment, and I thought the environment was captured to some point, but as I said, it does actually double for the movie, is that it's a very shallow movie, and as a result it does become boring. So you need something inside to really capture you, to make you more than just a 2D cardboard cutout, but unfortunately the whole film has that problem. So it's not only a curse of the modelling world, but this movie actually falls into that modelling world where it's all about how you look and it's not about your personality. So I like the overall disturbing elements at the end. I thought this is an incredibly disturbing film, especially one scene in particular that I'm not going to give away. But unfortunately, it's getting to that last scene that's the problem. So it does have some very good visuals, a very neon lighting. I thought some of the scenes of dialogue were very interesting because it felt like you were the only people there. There's no background noise, so it does feel very intimate and quite surreal. So the whole film has that surreal atmosphere, and I thought it was very well done. But like Only God Forgives and like Drive, it's all about what you see, and that's distracting you from the fact it doesn't really have a heart and it doesn't really have anything terribly interesting carrying it. So although it is a commentary on the modelling world, unfortunately there are films that have come before it that actually depict it a lot better, is because it dares to actually flesh out these characters. In this film, the main character, you don't know anything new about her by the time it finishes. So you think to yourself, okay, this is a very slow burn film, but why? There's no purpose for that slow burn because it doesn't flesh out any of these characters. It doesn't flesh out the situation, and what you get is a movie that's an exercise in excess as opposed to making something that will last in the memory. So Nicholas Winding Refn, unfortunately, once again has disappointed me in The Neon Demon, and as a result of that, I'm only going to give this film 2 stars. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.